Today we are going to do our school project about the human interest video interview. It is to increase our understanding of possible future careers and to expand our knowledge about individuals working in different sectors of society. And we are glad to have Dicky join here.
Thank you.
Dicky is the financial consultant and the associate financial planning manager of the Prudential Assurance Company Limited.
Now come to our first question. Mr. Chen, what is your work?
Well, my work is basically, you can say, my job title tells what it is. Basically, I provide consultancy. But in other words, that would mean that I have to go out to places like Starbucks to do frontline selling. What do I sell? I sell usually investment products. And occasionally I sell also saving plans. My job nature is that I make an appointment with my client, usually my friend, and we will discuss the future, what my friend wants to do in the future. And then I will ask, so what are you doing now? If what are you doing now does not match with what you want to achieve, then there is a gap where I can advise on, where I can be consulted for. Usually, we find a gap. If we find a gap, then my job is to make a plan, an investment plan that works for that particular client with regards to his income, with regards to his goal. For example, if he wants to buy a 4 million worth of house, then I will devise a plan that enables him to do that in 10 years, if he wants to do that in 10 years. So, and after I have given him the plan, then I will explain how the plan works with respect to different investment products involved. Then usually we will have some further negotiations. Maybe the monthly investment is too much, maybe it's too little, then I will adjust. So only when we find the final common ground, then we will sign a contract, and then he starts to invest. But even though he's promised to invest, then I still have a duty owed to him, which is I have to monitor his investment funds and to make sure that he can achieve that goal.
And the next question is, why do you choose this job?
Why do I choose this job? That relates to how did I get this job. I know one of the managers here, and then he wants to expand his sales team. Now, many of you may know that I'm studying law and politics in the University of Hong Kong, which is a huge market. Usually the student body there, they come from relatively richer families. They have higher aspirations for their future life. So, however, you don't have a lot of salespersons on campus. So my manager wants to send me there to do planning for the Hong Kong youth student community, which I found that it is really a great market, and people there, my classmates, my schoolmates there, they really have a lot of hope for the future, and I want to help them. Now, specifically to your question, why do I choose this job? Because this job provides me, first of all, with a handsome income. I won't say stable, because my job is commission based, so it's not stable, but it's handsome, the income. Second, that will be my ability to, because you have to do selling, you have to really understand your friends. Then that inevitably involves talking and listening and deepening understanding with your friends. So you make more quality friends, in other words. You can also expand. If you are a salesperson, you will also try to expand your social circle, and that forces me to do that. And I find that I myself benefit from my expanded social circle. Lastly, I just want to make a final point. This job relates to my future job. My future job, I want to be a politician, which is like something you see on the television, talking about government policies. How do these two jobs relate? I think first of all, they both involve planning. Second, they both involve fulfilling the needs of the people you love or you care about. So I think they're closely related.
And the third question is, can good academic results or extracurricular activities help you to take the job?
Academic results, I'm not sure about that because my job nature involves talking with people and understanding people. So I don't think that if you are under traditional A-level, CE, that kind of traditional Hong Kong school training, I'm not sure you can that guarantees good results. I would say my mathematics can help me a little bit because after all I'm still in the finance sector. You have to understand maths. You have to do maths as well because oftentimes I have to figure out the portfolio of my clients. For example, what is the percentage of each fund going into the portfolio? Extracurricular activities, a lot, because extracurricular activities, they are about people. They are about you going out of the classroom to try to build something with other people. So that increases your interpersonal skills. Very important, I would say. So I encourage young people to take more ECAs or CCAs. Yes.
What difficulties did you face during your job, like seeing the clients?
What difficulties? A lot of the difficulties have to do with being objected. For example, you get objected many times throughout the sales process. First of all, you get objected when you make the first phone call to ask your friend out for a drink. Second of all, you get objected when you were actually dealing already. You get objected for the amount you propose. Maybe it's too little, maybe it's too few, or you get objected for other policy details. But I think the biggest difficulty is that if your friends, if your peer circle knows that you're a salesperson coming from an insurance company, although it is actually what I'm doing is not insurance, I'm doing investment, they will see you as an insurance guy. And an insurance guy in Hong Kong is not well regarded. They don't like insurance guys. So they will see you as being aggressive. They will see you as being sales pitch all the time. You want to sell something to them, which is true. I want to sell something to them, but the reason why I want to do that is because I know these products can help them. So you get depressed quite a lot That is why in a company or in other sales forces, you usually see a lot of promotions, benefits, extra awards to encourage people to do better. Okay.
So how did you overcome those difficulties?
How do I? I write a lot. If you look at my Facebook, I have a note called "I'm a salesperson" 我是一個推銷員. In that, I explain why. The reason why I wrote that is because once January, I asked a friend out, and then I proposed some plans to him, and he was very impolite. He was very impolite, and he said some really heartbreaking words to insult me and to insult the career of being a salesperson. Then that night I went home, and then I though as depressed as I was, I still believe that my job can help people. So I write a lot, I express myself, and next day I go out and go about my normal existence again. And one more thing, I think it's very good that in this office you get very good colleagues. You get very supportive colleagues.
And how to handle between study and work?
Well, first of all, I really have to note that this job does not take much of my time, because you can say I'm self-employed, because here at Prudential, you're really not directly employed. You don't have fixed office hours. I don't have to come to this office every Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. So most of the time I just make my own decisions as to when I go out to meet clients. For example, if I am free that Saturday, then I meet clients. If I have a lot of schoolwork, I just do my schoolwork. You just have to be making sure that you are using every second on something, like on family, work, and studies. Yeah.
So, what did you learn from this job?
What did I learn from this job? This job. First of all, finance skills, how to understand financial products like investment funds, which include shares, bonds, gold, emerging markets, whole lots of financial terms. Second, which I think is the most important, is how you deal with people, because being a sales, you have to understand what your customer is thinking by just observing their facial expressions. I think that skill applies to whatever job that I want to pursue in the future. Third, that will be the fact that I learned that the workplace can be really fun. I mentioned something about my colleagues. Right now, they're forming part of my social circle. They are really important people to me now, because we go out to play, we go out to travel, we go out to Yamcha, and I could never imagine that the workplace can be so supportive and fun in the past.
Besides helping people individually, how can you contribute to society with this role?
With this job, with this job. How can I? What is your question again?
How can you contribute to the society?
Well, I think this job in itself is about helping individual people. So they come as individuals. What I think I can help is I can help the families behind them. That's one step further. I can help his or her future families. For example, most of my clients, they're not married. They don't even have boyfriends or girlfriends. But I help them to plan for the future so that they can buy a house at the age of 30. So I provide a foundation for their future families. I don't think I can go a step further with this job, but I think most of the time you can help others without being in whatever position. You can donate to charities. And I think, donating to charities.
What is the prospect of your job?
Prospect, if you look at money, then it's quite good. The remuneration, the salaries, although as stable as they are, they're quite handsome most of the time. But that all depends on your performance. That all depends on how much business you do, and you have to make sure that you're very diligent. You have to make sure that you are maintaining good relationships with your friends. You maintaining a professional image among your clients. In terms of promotion, I'm now the most junior level in the company. But if you recruit more salesperson, if you do more business, then you get promoted. When you get promoted, you get a bigger room, you can have your team, and you have bargaining power with the head office, which means that you can have a better office location, which means that you can have better commission percentage among others. You can have all sorts of other benefits. And going further than that, you can, starting from a salesperson, you can go to management. You can go to team management, as I just mentioned. You can go to company management. You can go to the international level, because Prudential is an international firm. We have office from all over the world. I guess 93 countries. Yeah. And a lot of our senior executives, they started their career as a salesperson.
And maybe I ask some question not about your job. And at school, how can we find our career?
At school, how can we find a career?
That means what should we do to prepare for our career?
There are two parts in this question. The first is how do we know which career we're going to?
Yeah.
I think you really have to go for your interest. Don't go for accounting because somebody tells you accounting is good. Don't go for investment banking if somebody says it's good paid. You have to really follow your own interest. If you like painting, you have to go to painting. Now I say this not because I say this because I know that if you don't have interest in that job, if you are a very good painter at a very young age, but you don't follow your passion, you go out and you do accounting, you get very sad, you get very you feel meaningless when you do your job. And you feel that sense of meaninglessness for 30 years. Now, if you feel meaningless, if you don't find meaning in your job, you probably don't do it well. And you probably get fired. And you probably get scolded at. So that's not good for your money. And that's not good for your salaries. But if you're good at painting, you go out to paint, the chance is that you get higher salaries than you just go out to do accounting. How do we prepare? One thing is common is the ability to work with different people. That applies to scientists. If you say, oh, scientists, there's someone who works in the lab, who don't go out, but they work in teams anyway. So really try to be good at people, how to interact with people. And this morning, when I knew that I was coming to this office to interview for an interview with you, I thought of a very simple tip for you. Is that say more yeses than say nos, because I realized that a lot of teenagers, they either say no, I don't like it, or they just say I don't know. But I think to say more yeses will definitely be... people like you more if you say more yeses, and people give you more chances if you say more yeses. So don't think too much, say yes to chances that come to you. Right.
So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Right, we've done it.